It's not looking good for Antony at Man Utd after Erik ten Hag's eye-catching actions. Erik ten Hag has made his fair share of mistakes in the opening 18 months of his Manchester United reign, which was to be expected, given the sheer magnitude of the rebuild he took over last summer. But few are more glaring than the £85 million signing on Antony, which came under the spotlight again during Sunday's disastrous Manchester derby. United looked unlikely to hand ten Hag a new winger in his first transfer window before the surprise opening season defeats to Brighton and Hove Albion and Brentford. That also sparked the £70 million panic signing of Casemiro, who shone in the first season but looks a stranger in comparison this term. United initially bid £67 million for Antony but ended up overpaying for the 23-year-old Brazilian, as has become customary given the lack of negotiators under the Glazer regime. Ten Hag's recruitment at Old Trafford has primarily focused on players he trusts, either from his former clubs or those with the Dutch football blueprint. For that reason, United trusted his judgment by making Antony the club's second most expensive signing in their history, but the risk hasn't paid off. Antony has registered 8 goals and 3 assists in 53 appearances, keeping players like Jadon Sancho and Alejandro Garnacho out of the side despite consistently below-par performances. However, ten Hag's actions in the 3-0 defeat to Manchester City and his comments in the aftermath suggest he has come to terms with what looks to be an expensive error. Antony was dropped for the visit of Pep Guardiola's side, with Bruno Fernandes preferred on the right wing. He was seen shaking his head on the bench while ten Hag made substitutions in the second half. After coming on in the 86th minute, with the game long gone, Antony contributed little and received a yellow card for an embarrassing and childish swipe at Jeremy Doku. Ten Hag interestingly called on Mason Mount and Alejandro Garnacho to make a difference before his £85 million man. He also snubbed Antony in his post-match comments, explaining his unpopular decision to take Rasmus Højlund off on 73 minutes. "I have to protect Rasmus Højlund, and I have to protect the team. He is putting so much effort in pressing, going in the transitions, going long ways and being in the fight with the tough opposition," ten Hag said. "And we are losing the game 2-0. He is not used to it, 3 games in a week. So I have to protect him, and I also have to protect the team and bring some energy in. We have bench players, Mason Mount and Garnacho, we know he can change games. That is the argument why we subbed him." Ten Hag already losing faith in Antony would be a damning representation of what seems to be a project crumbling before it truly got started. But more importantly, it further emphasizes the impact Sir Jim Ratcliffe's £1.3 billion deal for 25% of the club could have once Ineos inherits sporting control. Ten Hag needs support with recruitment, and he won't get it from the current setup. A new sporting director is a must, at minimum.